Lyman direction. This is where the 115th Separate Mechanized Brigade is holding the line of defense. The roads here are nearly impassable, covered in ice. It's about -8 degrees Celsius outside, yet our filming crew is heading out to meet those who, day after day, launch their drones into the air to strike Russian targets. 24-year-old Maria, call sign Makach, is an operator of reconnaissance and strike drones. In the early days of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, she was a volunteer, collecting essential supplies for the defense forces and delivering them to the front. Only 6 months ago, she officially joined the Ukrainian army. Since then, she has already successfully taken out enemy targets.
I just understand that they are our enemy. We conduct reconnaissance, we locate their dugouts and where they store their ammunition, so we fly there and strike those targets.
Maria says that her comrades in arms treat her as an equal. She learned to operate drones right at the front lines and has already adapted to life in the field. She also misses home. Waiting for her there is her 1.5-year-old son, for whom she is fighting.
I don't want the enemy to come here, so we do everything we can to keep them away.
For the second year now, a soldier with the call sign Desna has been targeting enemy positions with heavy bombing drones like the UAV Vampire. During night shifts, he and his comrades can conduct up to 15 combat sorties. Their targets include both enemy equipment and personnel.
We always try to eliminate as many of the enemy as possible, regardless of whether negotiations are taking place or not. Whatever happens next, we keep destroying the enemy. Of course, when we destroy them, we gain strength, energy and motivation.
Do you have the strength to keep going? Drone pilots say their operations depend on the weather. Clear skies are best for reconnaissance and striking Russian occupiers. However, they also face the risk of being targeted by enemy drones. As a result, military medics in field hospitals frequently treat service members with shrapnel wounds. Do we have any information about the type of injury?
Preliminary assessment is an FPV drone strike.
An FPV drone?
Yes, we'll check for shrapnel now and proceed.
Do you know his condition?
Moderate, closer to severe.
The hospital operates around the clock. Alexander is the commander of a medical detachment in the Ukrainian Border Guard Service. He has dedicated over 20 years to public service. He admits that the past 3 years have flown by like a single day, but his resolve to save lives remains unwavering.
It's tough, but what can we do? We'll manage everything, we'll be fine.
Until victory?
Together towards victory, 100% victory will be ours. Ukraine will win.
On the front lines, you meet people from all walks of life. The soldier who brought his wounded comrade to the hospital turned out to be a contestant from one of Ukraine's most popular TV shows. Andriy is a beatboxer. Now, at the front, he has a new repertoire.
When Russians hear about the Ukrainian counteroffensive, they run.
Andriy says his secret to staying in good spirits is simple. Don't dwell on exhaustion, because morale is everything.
If you let yourself weaken and think negatively, if you keep dwelling on it, you won't find the strength to carry on.
You can't be weak now?
Definitely not.
Since the beginning of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, many families have formed on the battlefield. In 2022, 23-year-old paramedic Zabava met her future husband on the front lines, and a year later, they got married. She still works in a field hospital and recalls the relentless effort to treat Ukrainian defenders in frontline Pokrovsk.
We barely slept, barely ate. We worked non-stop. But we got so used to that environment that we didn't want to leave. Even now, I look back at that time, and honestly, I would go back.
Many soldiers have already spent over 1,000 days on the front lines, facing constant danger, enduring harsh field conditions, suffering wounds, and mourning fallen comrades. Rarely do they get to see their loved ones. Their personal stories may be different, but they all share the same dream: Ukraine's victory over the Russian occupiers. Reported by Alyona Gramova, Yevhen Karmazin, from Donetsk region, UATV News.
The Pokrovsk district is the most difficult section of the front in Donetsk region. Here, the Ukrainian defense forces are repelling dozens of Russian attacks every day. This is how artillery works on concentrations of enemy troops. Fighters say that the Russian occupants are using the small infantry groups tactic. Their moves are mainly carried out through plantations and forest belts.
Especially considering that we have a large number of drones, they take advantage of bad weather conditions like rain, fog, and snow. In other words, when flying is not ideal for us, that's when they advance and accumulate.
The weather is cloudy today, which means we can expect storms. Artillery is on standby, and so, as the artillerymen say, they are on duty 24/7.
We go in all kinds of weather when we need to, day and night. We leave when we need to.
Soon the intelligence gives the coordinates of the target and the fighters move into position. After working on the coordinates, the team quickly packs up and leaves the firing points because return fire can start at any moment. Upon arrival at the position, the reactive system is immediately masked.
Let me help you.
Ukrainian artillery creates a lot of problems for the Russian military. They suffer heavy losses in manpower, the defenders say. That is why the occupants are constantly hunting for the crews of Ukrainian multiple rocket launchers.
If they had discovered where we were shooting, or if we were standing in the guided bomb, they would not have spared a single one. It happened that they found us and started to work on us, but we managed to get away from there.
We managed to gather information about the target hit by Russian Grads, a large group of infantry. Details on the enemy's losses will be available later after reconnaissance is conducted. As for the fighters, they stopped counting the destroyed targets long ago. There is no time for that now.
Well, now very often. We go in this direction almost every day. The missiles are not bad. They hit quite accurately. I'm satisfied. We can also operate, you can say, from the rear.
Without wasting any time, the guys are preparing the military vehicle for the next trip. And you don't have to wait long here because the Pokrovsk direction is an endless cycle of fighting missions. Reported by Alexandra Zaslavets, Alona Gramova, Evgeny Karmazin, UATV News.